Alright everyone, so today we're going to be doing an activity about watersheds. It's going to have 3 parts. We're going to talk about what a watershed is, we're going to make our own watershed, and then we're going to talk about why they're important and how we can protect them. What is a watershed? It really helps to break the word down into 2 parts like I've done here. We can think about water and shed separately. So water, we drink it, we know we need it, animals live in it, and it comes in a bunch of different forms in our lives. When you think about a shed, you might think about something in your backyard that stores tools, or you could think about it like a verb. Your dogs and your cats, they all shed their fur. Snakes, they shed their skin. So you can think about it as water that's being stored somewhere or water that is shedding or moving, and we'll talk about that. Here's a kind of loose definition of a watershed. It's the process of water landing on land and shedding off of it. It is anywhere there is rain, snow, rivers, lakes, and the ocean. Watersheds are part of the water cycle. Think about the water cycle: condensation, precipitation, evaporation, and the way water moves cyclically throughout our lives. We live in a watershed. The Monterey Bay is a watershed. We have mountains and rivers and lakes and the Elkhorn Slough and the ocean, and all of that water is connected. You might think maybe somewhere in the middle of Oklahoma or New York City is not a watershed, but places far away from the ocean are still watersheds. If rain and snow happen somewhere, if there's a river somewhere, it's all part of a watershed. So like I was saying earlier, all water is connected. Alright, we're going to go build an example watershed, okay? I'm going to show you the supplies you need and how to do it, and it's a super fun outdoor activity. Okay, so now to build your watershed, all you're going to need is a nice big patch of grass or dirt, and you're going to want to bring some water in a cup from your house. And if you want, you should have a digging tool. What you're gonna do is you're gonna wanna make one big mountain and then one big ocean. We talked about how watersheds are water falling on the land and then going into streams, rivers, the ocean in a big cycle. So to create the cycle yourself, you do wanna build a big mountain, and then a big ocean, and then some rivers, lakes between them. I'm gonna get to digging and then I'll show you what I make. Alright, here's my watershed. I did a very simple one with a big tall mountain and then a little ocean right here. You can decorate it however you want. Get as many flowers from your yard, put them all over, whatever you feel like doing. For the sake of teaching, I'm gonna put some of this fluffy grass all over the mountain. Let's pretend that fluffy grass is trash. You're gonna take your water and you're gonna simulate rain on the top of the mountain. It rains on the top of the mountain. So the rain is going all the way from the top of the mountain, doing a little bit of erosion, which is cool, and has gone into the ocean. But what did it take with it? It took the trash with it, right? Some of it stayed behind on our mountain, but some of it got taken into the ocean. This is why you really, really shouldn't litter anywhere. You should never litter, you should never leave your trash, you should never encourage pollution. That could be harmful chemicals, that could be water bottles, that could be wrappers, that could be all kinds of stuff, and now it's in the ocean where stuff is going to eat it, or it's going to break down and fish are going to eat it, and then when we eat fish, we will indirectly be eating that trash, right? So this is my fun watershed example. You can do this at the beach, you can do this in your garden. You could even try to do this with household items that you can get wet. But let's talk about why watersheds are important now. So now that we've seen what a watershed looks like and we've made our example watershed, let's talk about why watersheds are important. We know that we need water, right? Have you ever gone a day where you haven't drank enough water and you probably feel kind of tired? That's not good for you. To not have water is kind of bad. You want to make sure you're drinking enough water every day. Animals need water just like we do, and some animals live in water, like fish, and we eat fish. Water can help keep our weather nice. And also, we know that we can't grow our food without water. And if we can't grow our food, we don't have any water to eat, right? So we know that water is important, and if our water is polluted, that's probably not a great thing. So here are some ways that I have compiled how we can help our watersheds. From our house, we can use less plastic, right? Plastic can end up becoming trash a lot of the time. You want to use a reusable water bottle, pack snacks in reusable bags, stuff like that. You can buy in bulk. You can use reusable stuff like reusable straws. When you can't use less plastic, if there's something plastic you gotta use, recycle it. Make sure when you're out and about you do not litter. Littering is very, very bad. If you litter and it rains, like we showed in our example, you litter and it rains, that gets washed into the river. The river takes it out to the ocean, and somebody will get sick, or it can end up breaking down and ending up in the water that we drink or the water that we water our crops with. You can also pick up trash. That's a big thing. That helps so much. And last but not least, you can teach people about watersheds. I just showed you an example of how to make a watershed at your house. You can show your whole family. You can make a video of it of yourself, share it online, talk about why it's important to do your part everywhere you are, because something that you do in California can affect the way somebody lives in Washington or New York or Florida or Mexico or England. It's all connected, and it's really important for everybody to do their part.